Hello and welcome to this video about the Furance Jackals. So this is my own House Goliath gang that I painted up, well, when Necromunda was first released. So the excitement behind the gang, the excitement behind the new game, of course we all wanted to dive in. And instead of painting up one of my older gangs, one of the old metal gangs, I decided to just jump straight in with one of the starting gangs from the box set. House Goliath, nice, big, meaty sons of... that they are. I decided to spring for them. And I had a few extra bits because the increased scale allowed me to convert a lot of the heresy range. So for example, my gang leader Jargo, he has Khan the Bloody's head applied to him with some fur sculpted around the corners. But anyway, okay, so this is the first foray into the latest edition of Necromunda. I used to play Spirers or Redemptionists. I just love the idea of like small elite bands of hunters, essentially. I mean, I'm British, right? We have this whole heritage of fox hunting in this country, which I am completely and utterly against. I'm not a fox hunter fan at all. But this universe is one of those places where you can explore those horrible... I mean, it's a satire, right? So instead of hunting foxes, you're hunting people, which is even more barbaric. Or Redemptionists, which, again, very horrific. I mean, I started playing Necromunda when I was a kid. I didn't really get where the inspiration for the Redemptionists came from. The older I got, the more I realised, like, holy God, perhaps I shouldn't be playing these guys. But I have a thing for Flamer templates, and they allowed me to take it in bucket loads. But anyway, the new game, the new iteration of the game. I wanted to play one of the new gangs because they were brand spanking new, and I decided to go for Goliath. So I normally play gangs with a lot of speed and maneuverability and adaptability. The Goliaths really are not that at all. For the paint scheme, I wanted to seem like the armour was pressed over a furnace and allowed to kind of crackle and warp and have heat distortion to it. So I took inspiration from the Iron Hands from the Forge World range, where they use overlapping clear paints from Tamiya of yellow, purple and orange, I believe. Now this is a hellishly difficult colour scheme to create. I decided to take the easy way out. I used Martian Green by Green Stuff World. It's a colour shift paint. So when you revolve the miniature around, you get different inflections. Actually, I have a little tutorial here. So you can see as you move it around, it creates different light patterns. And it gives the effect of, well, what I think is armour that's been heated in the forge. So this is the tutorial series here. There's a few videos up at the moment for the Furance Jackals, so it covers the furnace plates, metallics, grim-industrial basing, and Necromunda skin. Oh, and the blade, of course, cutter. So this colour scheme was a relatively quick one. I needed this done quickly for the tabletop to whack on there and get playing. All in all, each ganger took around an hour and a half to paint. The gang leader Jargo took slightly longer because I wanted to luxuriate on a little bit more detail on this guy. The colour palette itself is cool. So you'll notice that it's a very limited in the warm tones I've used. So all the colours, blues, turquoises, greens, even purple and green in the armour plate. The only warmth you can see on that miniature is the blood splash on his blade, and this carries right the way throughout the gang. On reflection, I think I should have used more hazard striping, more orange warm hazard striping, because some of the detailing, say on this miniature, on his furnace plate on his chest, there's some flames there, but it's done in white, and it doesn't really show up. So if I were to do this gang again, or I might go back and repaint them, touches of orange or neon orange will really help sell the effect, I think. Let's come out of this. Okay, so the actual games themselves, they're more like tanks than people. It feels like I'm playing a gang of tanks. Put a combat shop put a combat shotgun in one of these guys' hands, put it in range, and it'll put most things down. But you have to make sure you get there in the first place. Combat cards, skills, and pure blind luck all play their part in the few games I did win in the campaign. For example, Vansar opponent bottled after discharging a plasma weapon. I think it was a plasma cannon. He charged it right the way up, blew up, and it freaked out the entirety of his gang. They all bottled. And they fled the field. And I hadn't fired a single shot in anger. Goliaths I found do well in not close combat, because you have things like corpse grinders out there, and enemy leaders are normally tooled up to the nines. They're normally expecting that. But in medium to short range, so around 6 to 12 inches, they tend to prosper, or at least what I found. So the area of Necromunda we occupy is called Taff Sump, and that original campaign was won by the Eschers, who now control, well, they're the dominant gang in the area. But between the roving gangs of fanatics dedicated to the cult of the Corpse Emperor, the Furnace Jackals are definitely the hardest Goliaths in town. Gang is led by Jargo, a particularly vicious vat-bred piece of muscle that hasn't thrived in the new environment. In his first game, he managed to pick up an injury in his knee, which means he's gone down to movement 3, and I haven't been able to roll up successfully to get his knee replaced or mend the injury. But to counter this, he has gone up to toughness 5, which makes him a really tough SOB. So much so, I've decided kind of in my headcanon that his skin is slowly ossifying. It's slowly turning into bone. So he's getting slower but harder. He's turning into a rock, essentially. This is due to his a bad mixture when he was being created in the vats. Okay, Clintay, he operates as the gang's fixer, so this is the number 2, the second in charge, and this was my only, I guess, concession to the internet wisdom, to equipping my gang as how people online say they should be equipped. It didn't work out for me. Internet wisdom have it that grenade launchers is the best weapon for Goliath gangers, best one they can have. Personal experience does not bear that out. Normally he sits at the back of the table. He doesn't really do that much. The shots that he fires tend to go off target or just tremendously bad luck, which gives me kind of like the faint impression that he is smarter than I am. Like, he knows how to use this equipment, but because of my failings as a player, as a gang leader, it's just not operating at maximum efficiency. I get the feeling with this guy as well, he doesn't speak that much, and it gives him the maybe unfair unfair reputation of being quite intelligent. Whereas I think he just hasn't got that much to say. He might be a little bit slow. Again, all of these guys are VAT produced, none are natural born. Okay. I don't like this guy. Unless you're swinging an axe into somebody's head, then this guy doesn't think you're a proper Goliath. So this is my other second in command before stimmers became a thing. He's my close combat specialist, and I got the distinct impression he doesn't like my leader too much, who uses a gun. I mean, my gang leader performed okay when he was firing his plasma pistol into people's heads. But I get the impression that he doesn't really respect that style of warfare. So the other Goliath gang in the campaign, all close combat specialists, all running up, bashing you over the head. Traditional, grounded Goliaths, like how Goliath should fight. Headcanon, again, at the end of the campaign, I think he just left the gang. He wasn't too enamoured with the gang leader. And he sought out pastures new. So I imagine he's somewhere down Hive, hiring himself out in the bloodiest battles he possibly can, just to get that chance to throw an axe into somebody's head. Okay, Kid Vark. This is my up-and-coming rising star. I think he's a bit of a pretty boy. So he loves his hairstyles, he loves his bright neon lipstick, he loves his accessories. that combat shotgun really put a few guys down, and he gained a lot of experience very quickly. I mean, he even managed to put a wound on an Orlok road boss. So definitely a rising star in Goliath, in my Goliath gang. I was thinking of modelling him with like a fur cloak or something on the side, just to mark him out a little bit more. Okay, and then here are the hired goons. This guy had the honour of dying in my very first game. He was shot and just simply died, so I haven't even bothered to name him. This guy, can't remember him doing a goddamn thing. Dual wielding pistols, looks cool, cannot hit a thing. Cannot hit a thing. This guy, again, unmemorable. I get the impression that he looks tough, like he works out all his shoulder muscles without strengthening his core. So those are my disappointing goons. And then my dog. So in this universe, my gang leader doesn't like dogs. That's why they're called Jackals. They don't whimper when they're beaten. So that's why this weedy bit of string is called Dog. He runs in front and takes bullets for the gang leader. Now, there are 3 Goliath gangs in my local area, and all 3 of us run this exact same miniature for our Juve. I get the feeling that they're all brothers that hate each other's guts, and they've all decided to join different gangs and see what they can do. Yeah, that's all this guy was. He was a bullet magnet. He ran in front of people and tried not to die too quickly. This guy, River Crumper, such a cool weapon, but very disappointing rules-wise. I couldn't justify the cost of buying this guy. So I decided in the lore he's a joke. When you sent down Hive, he can't concentrate, he can't verbalize, I can't talk. He spends most of the day shooting industrial grade rivets at rats and scurrying bugs or whatever he finds around him to amuse him. Just some minds weren't meant for this world, I guess. And that's the gang. This is the gang currently. So we do have a couple of berserkers that have been previewed on the website previously. And there's also a couple, I've also designed a couple of Zerkers, like those big stimmed up dudes. That I should have previewed here, really. But this is the core of the gang. Jargo, Clintay. I'm getting the feeling that Clintay may go off to form his own gang. Kid Vark, definitely a disciple of Jargo. And then hired goons. This is the basing. And basing is one of those, I think you should pay attention to basing, especially in Necromunda. I don't like clear basing, I'm not a fan of them, because I think the base allows context. It allows you to tell the story of the piece. In this case, Downhab. Even if you don't know anything about this game, you look at them and you understand that this is a cyberpunk-ish world. Even if you don't understand anything about the miniatures, you understand the world through the base. If you'd like to see more of these, they're up. The full galleries on Lil'Legend Studio blog. You can find a list of tutorials for absolutely everything that we've done so far, including the full Necromunda course. So what do we have here? Rather handily. Let's have a look at the blog. Yeah, rather handily we have the Grand Index with every single tutorial ever produced is on here. Brushes and You, that's a very good one. If you're interested in Necromunda specific tutorials, we have House Goliath PDF. If you're not a big reader, we can do another House Escher PDF in the traditional scheme. We have that color shift effect a little bit later on. Where are we? We have videos on House Escher 1, 2 and 3 covering every single aspect of the paint job. And we do definitely have the Furnace Jackals on here. We have Distressed Black Armor, so if you just wanted to know to do that color shift effect for any kind of armor. Here we go. So we have the Goliath Furnace Plates, Goliath Gore and Goliath Skin, which would be perfect for any kind of down hive dwellers, and of course grim industrial basing. So all you do is go on this page, click on the link, and away you go. No need to navigate through Patreon, it's all linked up here. And you get access to everything here for $15 with a 10% discount if you subscribe annually. And you can also have a look at a preview of a Necron Warrior, just to see the quality of the videos. But that's it for today. That is the outline of the House Goliath gang that I've created. I'll post up the rest of the Necromunda stuff soon-ish. Otherwise, I really hope you've enjoyed that. Well, what Necromunda gang would you like to see next? I have a Chaos cult gang dedicated to the divine worship of mushrooms. And I also have a Corpse Grinder gang that I speed painted over the course of a weekend to give me another gang to play with. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much.